Our top story tonight, 2 kidnapping cases, 3 arrests, and at least 1 suspect still on the run.
Bulloch County law enforcement revealing new details about the 2 separate investigations that unfolded yesterday. Is joining us now live with how authorities tracked down the suspects and what they're saying about the search for the person still on the run.
The Bulloch County Sheriff's Office helped close a case that started hundreds of miles away. Today, law enforcement officials provided an update on an alleged kidnapping that involved 2 teenage girls, while they continue to look for at least 1 suspect involved in an attempted burglary in the town of Register. Tuesday evening, a Bulloch County Sheriff's deputy arrested 21-year-old Seth Talmadge. He was wanted for allegedly kidnapping 2 minors from North Carolina. Captain Todd Hutchins says Talmadge may have a connection to one of the victims.
He had been having communication with one of these females to the point where I guess they thought they were in somewhat of a relationship.
Talmadge was taken into custody without incident. The 2 victims have been reunited with their families. Sheriff Noel Brown praised the flock safety system, which helped track and locate the suspect's vehicle.
This is a prime example of 2 young children taken by a predator. They're now safely home with their parents or their family members. Just because sometimes things are used inappropriately, everybody's not doing that. This is a very proper tool to be used in law enforcement. It's an important tool to us. I really don't know what we would do without it right now.
Investigators also provided more details about the Tuesday morning incident in Register. We learned one of the suspects was taken into custody thanks to the help of a local resident.
He took a chance on opening that door, folks. This gentleman went to his door for help. And he was there when we got there because he held him at gunpoint until we got there. And I don't mind telling you that, because you as a citizen, it's okay to do that, especially when you know that somebody is trying to get out of an area that don't belong, trying to get back to North Georgia.
Interim Statesboro Police Chief Jared Aiken says the victim found in the car was the suspect's target. He was allegedly kidnapped from the city.
He was definitely targeted as the individual they wanted to take into their custody.
Sheriff Brown advises residents to lock their doors and their cars to reduce the risk of theft. As for Talmadge, the kidnapping suspect, he remains in the Bulloch County Jail awaiting extradition back to North Carolina. Reporting live from the Statesboro Bureau, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Evan, thank you. 1 person is in custody and police are searching for a 2nd suspect after a shooting near Windsor Forest High School. It is a story we first brought you yesterday as breaking news. Savannah police say 2 groups got into a fight near Largo Drive and Woodley Road just before 3 in the afternoon. Officers responded after a shot spotter alert and found a man who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital with serious injuries. About an hour and a half later, Savannah police were called to another shooting, this time off of East 71st Street. Officers found a young man inside a home with a gunshot wound. He was taken to the hospital for treatment. Both shootings remain under investigation. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 912-234-2020.
A man is in custody after Rincon police say he attacked an employee with a baseball bat, damaged cars and apartments, and started a fire inside his own home. Police responded to the disturbance just before 9 this morning when officers say they found 57-year-old Brian Fox damaging property. Investigators say Fox assaulted an employee and used a baseball bat to damage several vehicles and at least 2 apartment units. Police say Fox also started a small fire inside his apartment. Fox was eventually taken into custody and taken to Effingham County Hospital for an evaluation. Charges are pending. Only on 3, a Chatham County mother says her late daughter was failed by the school system and now she's taking the district to court. The lawsuit accuses the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System of failing to meet its legal obligations to a student with significant disabilities. WSAV's Isley Herschel spoke with the mother about why she's fighting for accountability even after her daughter's death.
Tina, that's right. Maureen Brown was the mother of Ziola. Her daughter suffered from a rare condition that made her wheelchair bound and unable to speak or move. Ziola has since passed away, but Brown says while she was enrolled in Chatham County schools, she was not receiving the education she was entitled to. She says the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System was supposed to offer her a virtual teacher to accommodate her needs, but says no one taught her during her kindergarten year. Brown says during this time, the school marked her present, even though she was not receiving an education. She also claims the school district gave her assignments that were not possible with her handicaps, including science fair projects and writing journal entries. Among Brown's other complaints, the district failed to provide her with the proper assistive technology and did not evaluate her to improve her individualized education program requirements. Now Brown is suing the district, saying they did not provide her with a free, appropriate public education.
They gave her an eye gaze machine, but they would never contact me so I can set up the buttons according to the lessons. So she can't communicate, so you need to tell me how you want her to communicate these lessons. They wouldn't do it. So once again, she can't do the work. Now we want them to be held accountable. We want them to say, you know, we didn't do this. We weren't there for her.
We reached out to the district for a response. They chose not to comment at this time. This case is set to appear in court on September 2nd of this year. Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3, on your side.
Isley, thank you. WSAV is your local election headquarters, and an answer about national security from South Carolina U.S. Senate candidate Darlene Graham is making national headlines.
National security is not my thing, not my area of expertise, but I do support the military.
That was Graham's response after she was asked whether Taiwan and the South China Sea are national security issues for the United States. The debate also featured Graham's Republican opponent, U.S. Representative Ralph Norman. The candidates also questioned each other's records involving President Trump, with Graham targeting Norman over his initial concerns with parts of the president's tax and spending bill.
You were the holdout on the big, beautiful bill, and Trump had to call you in and convince you to sign it.
It wasn't anything like what you're talking about. It was, he said, what are you holding it up for? I said, well, the subsidies for electric cars is dumb. The subsidies for passive solar and wind are stupid. I was cutting it out, and we made it better. He agreed. Do that over again. I don't apologize for it.
Meanwhile, the Democratic candidate in the race, Dr. Annie Andrews, is waiting to find out who her opponent will be in November, and she was watching last night. Andrews tells News 3 she was unimpressed by both Graham and Norman. She says they did not focus on what the biggest issues are for the Palmetto State, which are the cost of gas, groceries, and health care. Andrews says neither Republican is willing to fight back against the Trump administration and instead are turning to buzzwords, calling her a socialist to try and draw support.
They're trying to paint me as a socialist tells you they have nothing else to run on. They know they don't have a legislative record to stand on. They know that this administration is failing. They know that this war is unpopular, that everyone is feeling the pain at the gas pump and at the grocery store. They're not offering solutions. So they're just going to revert back to these really, basement level attacks. And the bad news for Ralph or Darlene or whoever it is I'm not a socialist. So that argument is not going to carry a lot of weight this election cycle.
Early voting runs through Friday in the Republican runoff. The election is Tuesday.
New at 6, hundreds of thousands of acres across coastal Georgia and the South Carolina Low Country could eventually become part of the National Wildlife Refuge System. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is proposing major boundary expansion for 10 areas. The Savannah Coastal Refuges Complex currently covers nearly 60,000 acres. Under the plan, the federal government could add between 150,000 and 200,000 acres. That includes potential expansions of Savannah, Blackbeard Island, Harris Neck, Pinckney Island, Wausau, and Wolf Island National Wildlife Refuges. In the South Carolina Low Country, 4 refuges could also expand, with up to 300,000 acres potentially added to that complex. The Fish and Wildlife Service says the expansions would help protect coastal habitats and wildlife, while also creating more opportunities for public access and outdoor recreation. The agency says any land acquisition would only involve willing property owners. Being inside a proposed expansion area would not require owners to sell their land or to change how they use it. The plan is still in its early stages and no final boundaries have yet been approved. The Fish and Wildlife Service is now asking people across the area in the coastal Georgia and Low Country region to weigh in. Public comments are due by September 17th.
Now, Time Saver Traffic, sponsored by Arrowhead Clinic, the accident doctors, where it pays to get well.
Well, this afternoon we have not been dealing with many major issues on the roadways around the Coastal Empire and the Low Country. The drive time, though, taking just a little bit of extra time to get from downtown Savannah to Pooler at 17 minutes. Now, more hot weather is in the forecast for Thursday and into Friday, but it's Friday and into Saturday when we will start to see some showers and storms build in. That'll actually help us to cool off a little bit in time for the weekend. The complete forecast is coming up.